I'm Sakura. I'm always looking for the real thing. Now, let me present to you. This time we're talking about Maruyama Molybdenum, a continuation of the previous video. Last time I explained the gasoline additive type, Maruyama Molybdenum. Saitoh Shokai, who I mentioned in the video link, also said that the gasoline additive is easier to experience, so I think you should try that first. As it turns out, my dad also said that the Maruyama Molybdenum gasoline additive was more effective than the engine oil additive. So, my dad's opinion is the same as Saitoh Shokai's. But since he put the gasoline additive in first, I can't deny the possibility that he might not feel the effect. Now, Maruyama Molybdenum for engine oil, there are different kinds of it. There is the original Maruyama Molybdenum manufactured by Maruyama Molybdenum Company, Limited, and there is the Kyoto Shokai recipe version, which is a tuned version of the original. Dad buys it directly from Saitoh Shokai, so it's the Kyoto Shokai recipe version, but he hasn't tried the original Maruyama Molybdenum, so he can't tell the difference in effectiveness. He doesn't dare to try the original Maruyama Molybdenum because he is already satisfied with the effect, but if you do buy it, I would like you to be aware of the difference. So he started with Estrella, just as I explained last time. By the way, the engine oil he is using is Yamalube Premium Synthetic. It's a luxury oil for Estrella. He has used model 300 volts before, but the ester-based engine oil was not good for city riding. The engine oil turned cloudy and he stopped using it after that. If the effect of the gasoline additive is 100, this effect is about 30. Of course, he didn't even open the engine, and he said it was almost like a placebo. It does get better, but it's not dramatic change. However, it hasn't gotten any worse and the motorcycle is in good condition, so he continues to use Yamalube plus Maruyama Molybdenum. The other bike, the ZRX1200DAEG, had a little more effect. The effect was almost the same, noise reduction, better transmission entry, etc. He says that, sensibly, if Estrella is 30, DAEG is about 50. He did note the change in idle RPM that occurred with the gasoline additive, but he said there was no change there. The RPMs remained constant and there was no problem. There was no change in the high RPMs either, it was running fine from over 5,000 RPMs to the limiter. Also, he doesn't have any engine oil additives in his car. The truth is that he's too scared to put it in because cars have more complicated mechanisms. His cars hold about 7 liters of engine oil, and the amount of additives would be too much, so it's not cost effective. If a problem occurs, it's hard to replace the oil. I've been talking about the following video that reports an increase in power after adding an engine oil additive to a car. I'll post the link in the summary section. I have to agree with the power check in that video. Cars and motorcycles lose a lot of the energy produced by the engine before it is transferred to the tires. If we can reduce the loss inside the engine, we can increase the power available. In other words, the total horsepower will increase. It does not mean that the power output of the car itself is increased, so be careful about that. So if you're looking for a serious power boost, you'll have to increase the displacement or install the turbo. The only thing that additives can do is to reduce losses by making the engine run smoother. It's a side effect of engine protection. It's just a prediction, but I can recommend to use additive for an engine around the 90s. I think it would be a good match for the Airbay, SR, 1JZ and 2JZ. Well, I'm 5 years old, so I don't really know, but that's what my dad told me. Finally, I'll summarize the benefits of adding Maruyama Molybdenum to motorcycles. The advantages are engine noise is reduced and smoother. Transmission entry becomes better. Disadvantages a little expensive. Other no adverse effect on the clutch of the motorcycle. No change in engine braking. Also, additives are basically just an add-on. The important thing is to change the oil regularly and choose the right brand of oil. If you can manage these things properly, then you should be more concerned about additives. Dad's recommendation is to use a combination of a non-ester oil of a reasonably high grade and Maruyama Molybdenum. If anyone is wondering whether or not to add an engine oil additive, I would suggest adding Maruyama Molybdenum. Of course, I can't guarantee it 100%, but I don't think it will cause any problems unless you have the latest electronic control cruncher or a hybrid engine. I recommend it to anyone who wants to take good care of their engine. That's the end of the story for this time. Please look forward to the next story. Bye bye.